Hey, what's up YouTube? It's DJ Lawn here. And today I want to show you how you can very quickly make these foley-based texture loops that sit in the background of your song and really fill things out and gives your song just more dirt and more texture. They're super easy to make, they're really fun to make, and literally all we're going to do is smash your face against the keyboard. So I've got here my 128 follies, and I explain what 128s are in a different video. You can watch it up here now. But essentially what it is 128 different foley samples all inside a simpler, and I can trigger them all on my keyboard at the same time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the auto quantizer is off, because I don't want this stuff to quantize. I want it to be as random as possible. I'm just going to record in, let's say, 4 bars of me just smashing my hand on the keyboard. So let's go. So now that we've got our jumbled mess that looks something like this, the next thing we're going to do is freeze and flatten it. And we get it as an audio stem. I'm just going to drag this across so we have that. And the next thing we're going to do is I've got my Foley Maker rack here. And I'll explain what this is, because obviously this won't make much sense if I just slap it on. So it's a preset bunch of stuff going on. So the first thing is an EQ. I'm just shaving off some highs and shaving off some lows. Actually quite a lot, basically all of it. It's just not cutting, it's sort of just sloping. Doing a shelf, and if I turn off the other effect, this is what it sounds like with just the EQ. You see it's a lot less heavy, more light. The next thing up is the D16 Decimal 2, and this is basically a Bitcrusher. You can use Ableton's Bitcrusher. I'm just adding a bit of jitter here and bringing down the resampler and just making it sound a bit more lo-fi. So I'll turn that on now and see what it sounds like. A lot more dirty. The next thing I'm going to do is turn on this cassette plugin. It's basically tape saturation, but it's like VHS tape saturation, and this is going to add just more like lo-fi dirt and stuff like that. So I'll turn it on now. As you can hear, it just sounds a bit more crunchy, tiny bit. And the last thing we're going to do is add on some reverb. And we get that. But now what we want to do is we want to freeze and flatten this, and we get this. Next thing we want to do is come down to the audio section on the audio clip and come to where, make sure it's in beats mode, make sure it's wrapped, set it to 16ths, and then make sure you have this icon on here, which is forward only, and then you start bringing this down. As you can hear now, we have like some dirty texture that is bound to a 16th. You could do this to 8ths as well, or even quarter. You can even try it on transient and it'll get a bit more random. But I set it to 16th now because usually this always works on 16ths. And now we want to sort of like trim out a bit that might sound good as a loop. So maybe get something like this. Just copy it across. Don't really like that. Let me try this one. Cool. I quite like that. That's quite a nice little textural loop. We can even stick my Foley Maker rack back on it to get it even more in the background. Let's freeze and flatten that again. And again, let's put it on 16ths. And now if I start to add some drums to it, so bear with me. Okay, so I've just slapped some more drums together, got the kick, the clap and an offbeat hi-hat now, and you can hear how the Foley sits really nice in the background and fills out the texture layer. I'll turn it on and off now so you can hear what it sounds with and without, and sort of come to your own conclusions whether you like this kind of style or not. Let's with it. Without the Foley loop, it just sounds kind of empty straight away. So this is going to add a lot of texture to your drum straight away. And you could layer these quite easily. Like you could duplicate this. You could bring this one up by 12 semitones, and you can mess with it in different ways. You can add different effects to it and stuff like that. Let's say I've pitched that up an octave, and I'll stick the Foley Maker rack back on it. Get something more in the highs. I can layer these together now. Like Foley high. And yeah, that's just a really quick and simple way. All I did was smash my hands on the keyboard and yeah, then I stuck some effects on it. And you can see how you can get these nice little background textures. And you can take this way further. You can do way more little effects to it, take it to different heights, pitch them up and down. You could even make these into like hi-hats, for example. But as you can hear, you can make it a very nice background texture for your song. It's going to feel a lot more full. Let's try it again now with it off and on. We'll do it off first. Very bare bones. And now both of them go back on. Cool. Great to add that texture into your background. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope you found this useful. Please like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.